I'm going to be going over the most worth it vehicles in Vehicle Simulator and in which order you should buy. Anyways, let us begin. Okay, coming in at number 1, you're probably going to want to start with the Audi TT. The Audi TT compared to that and compared to this and the other car, it is much faster and better than any of the other starter cars. The acceleration may be a little bit less, but even though it is less, the 135 speed will actually make up for it. I recommend, if you do look at the handling and see 35% and 50%, you will notice that that's probably not that good. However, sure, it isn't that great, but not gonna lie, 135 speed, you don't need much handling, so this is definitely the most worth it starter car. After you get this car, you're gonna be grinding for a while, trust me, and you're gonna want to get you're probably gonna want to save up to the Dodge Viper or the Chevy Corvette. Either one actually works. I recommend getting the Viper though, it is much better. Corvette you might think Corvette looks cool, but trust me, Dodge Viper is better. So I recommend you get that. Do not make the mistake in getting any of these other cars. If you want a car with good handling rather than acceleration, you might want to get the Mercedes-Benz. Mercedes-Benz also pretty good, 200 miles per hour, just less acceleration. But this is a very good race car for around the world. I've seen many people win with that car. Next car you're probably going to want to jump to is go all the way from that to the Lamborghini Aventador. This Aventador goes 217 miles per hour, that's 17 miles per hour faster, with a 2.6 acceleration, that's at 0.2 seconds faster, with much better handling and much better brakes. Now, only problem with this is this now costs over $500,000 when it used to cost around a little bit more than the McLaren. So what you may actually want to do, if you feel like it's worth it, is get the McLaren first. With the McLaren, you may be able to win some races, but trust me, there will be Aventadors that you will not be able to beat with a McLaren. So if you feel like you want to grind all the way to around $500,000, you probably should get the McLaren before you get the Aventador. That's just a suggestion. After you get the McLaren, obviously Aventador or McLaren P1, if you feel like grinding all the way up to here, which is 1,150,000, this is actually not super worth it. So don't get this car, even if you think it looks cool, which it does. Don't get it, not super worth it. 3 miles per hour faster than the Lambo. Lambo can still beat it. What you might consider doing is going to something crazy, like the Pagani, or even going all the way up to a hypercar as a McLaren F1. McLaren F1 is also a very worth it car. However, if you're like me and you just feel like going all the way from the Lamborghini Aventador all the way to the best car in the game, you will have trouble. There will be times when you encounter a car that is between this and this. That's between actually this and stuff like this. You may encounter stuff, or you might even encounter this car now. If you do encounter any one of these top cars, you need to find a new server. But with a McLaren F1, you actually can beat the Lamborghini's Aventadors and actually make a solid amount of cash without seeing much competition. However, if you feel like you don't want to get the McLaren F1 and you want to save up your money, again, Lamborghini Scion, also pretty decent car, slightly slower, better acceleration and better and worse handling, actually. So it's alright. It looks pretty fresh. It looks pretty nice. Just pointing that out. After you choose your decision on that, you probably do not want to just spend your money after you save up $3 million and buy the Koenigsegg Jesko. However, this thing looks amazing, but it only goes 282 compared to the best car in the game, which goes 300. This also means that with this 2.4 second acceleration, there's a very low chance that your handling and brakes will give you the advantage over this. However, I will let you know that if you were to get this, do not go top speed around turns. It is very, very bad. Although I do not have this, I've seen people use it, and they say it is very hard to control. After that, after you decide to get if you decide to not just save all the way up, a Gira or Jesko might be your best options. I don't recommend going for either of these because this is just a waste of a grind if you're just going to go from this straight to this. But if you are going to get one of these, obviously Hennessy Venom is a bit better than Celine in top speed wise and not in acceleration by 0.1. However, if you're looking for something with better handling so that you can control better, the Celine S7 is the way to go. It all depends on what you prefer. Now, between the Bugatti Chiron and the Bugatti La Voiture, you should probably not buy the Bugatti Chiron unless you feel as if the Chiron is actually the better style for you. If you like the style of the Chiron, I recommend you go with it. The Chiron is much easier to control than this, even though the handling is less. Trust me, if you want something a bit more controllable and you like the style, Chiron is the way to go. If not, you should probably go with the Bugatti Noir or La Voiture or whatever you want to call it. This car is the currently best car in the game. If you're watching this when they have a new best car in the game, then it will not apply to you. Now, anyways, with the Bugatti Chiron, you can still outrun this car. However, what's going to happen is if you ever want to get this car, it's going to be very hard to grind. You're going to need to put many hours, many days into getting this car, into getting the next car. This is $5 million, and this is $3,400,000. So, also, if you feel like 10 miles per hour and 5% handling and 5% brakes is worth $1,600,000 more, then sure, go ahead, get this. But I will warn you, if you look at the price comparison, this is $1.6 million more expensive than this, and it's only for a small boost in each stat except for acceleration. So really, this thing is worth it, but also if you don't feel like grinding your entire life out, I recommend not getting it. It's again a matter of preference. Now we're going to go down to the luxury vehicles, the Bugatti Type 7 and the Cybertruck. Obviously, the price is much different. If you want a car that's just going to go on the road, whatever, looks nice, I'd go with the Cybertruck. If you really are indecisive about these, go with the Cybertruck. Cybertruck, slightly better, slightly worse in top speed actually, but again, it's honestly just slightly better because this is $200,000. With $200,000, you could literally buy almost a Porsche 911 GT3, and you can buy a Dodge Viper. You can buy any of this stuff, which really is better for grinding up more money. So, if you are to get a cheap car that you think will do well on the roads, get the Cybertruck. As for vintage, as you can tell, there is a very expensive one, which is $2,500,000, and there's the very cheap one, which is $23,000. Between all of these, which vintage cars should you get if you are indecisive about any of these? And by the way, vintage cars are completely preference based. It's not really like, oh, this one is so much better than this one. It's not really what you're gonna want for a race. If you're gonna get one of these, I'd recommend going somewhere in the middle. So either the Stratos or the Aston Martin. However, with the Stratos, be wary that this is slightly more expensive, and just look at the stats comparison. So do not get this. It's really not worth it unless you really like the style. It's the only reason you would get it. If you like the style of a car, go for it. They're really just there for the style. It doesn't really matter it just matters what your preference is. Off-roaders, I would recommend the Ford F-150 Raptor or the Cybertruck. Either one works. Hummer, it's okay, but I still would recommend one of these two. For tuners, honestly, again, go something kind of in between. So if you want the Volkswagen Golf, go ahead. Again, more preference based than actually, that important to decide on. Cruisers, probably should just go with the Tesla Model 3. It's relatively cheap. It's one of the best cars there. Good acceleration, pretty decent handling and brakes, and good speed. If you want the Volkswagen Golf, it is slightly better for a cheaper price. Again, the rest of these I would kind of ignore unless that's what you kind of like, but these two are the ones you're going to have to mainly decide about. If you really want a car that's better, go for the Volkswagen Bolt. If you want a car that, in my opinion, looks nicer and looks cleaner, go for the Tesla Model 3. As for that, featured cars, again, they're just more of the same. I recommend not getting the Koenigsegg Jesko. It's so close. If you grind all the way to 3,200,000, please do not spend all of your money on it. Just save up another 200,000 and get the Chiron, or save up 1.8 million and get the Nor. Really, your choice. But this is just my opinion on things. Please do not blame me for any actions you've taken. I'm just telling you what is gonna help you in races and what won't. One warning for every new player to this game, you're gonna want to know this. The Lamborghini Huracan, completely not worth it. I know you'll be there and you'll see 202 miles per hour, 2.9 seconds, 90% handling, 65 brakes. Wow, this is so good. It's not. It's a Lambo, sure. You might think, oh my god, it's a Lambo. This thing's gonna be OP. No. I promise you, this thing is not OP. I have seen, and it will happen, you will see an Audi R8 beat a Lamborghini Huracan. Simply because the top speed of this is greater than the top speed of this. For races like Downtown Rally, might be a good choice. Otherwise, again, a cheaper car, 170,000, much better than a 230,000. So, and actually, another thing. Save up 30k once you get to the Dodge Viper if you want, and just get the Audi R8. Honestly, you can just completely disregard the Viper. Just keep going, another 30k, and you'll have the Audi R8. Really good. It's a pretty good supercar, actually, for beginner players. But you can go from that. I would not recommend going from the Audi R8 straight to the freaking Nor. I say you at least get an Aventador to go all the way up. As for the VIP limo, this goes up to 170 miles per hour. If you are starting out, it might be better. However, the acceleration is not very good. 5 seconds to go to 0 to 60. Though the brakes, very good. Handling, it's alright. As for the Challenger, actually, I want to say something about that. So for the Challenger, this is a really, really good starter car. Like, if you're just starting out with the Audi TT, go ahead, get the Challenger. Really good starting car. Everyone gets it. But if you want to just go straight from the Audi TT to something like the R8 or the Viper, go ahead. It's completely up to you. I am just here giving my opinion. Again, this is just to clear up some stuff. Again, also, do not get the Huracan. You will regret it, and you will be very sad. There's a lot of... I just want you to know, if someone tries to get you to buy the Huracan, it's because they want to beat you in a race, and you should probably not get it, because if you do, then they'll be faster than you for quite a while. So do not buy any car without looking at the stats first. That is my warning. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.